Hey everyone, I'm the Canadian lad, and today I watched The Matrix at 0.2 Febix speed and found 28 new details that you may or may not have seen before. Now keep in mind, it's a movie that was released more than 20 years ago, so it's very hard to find new details in it that people haven't seen yet. Having said that, I still tried my best, and I think I came up with some details that will blow your mind. But first, please allow me just 45 seconds to thank Hero Wars for sponsoring this video. Hero Wars is a free online multiplayer RPG for all gaming types. Check out the link in description to download Hero Wars. First things first, you're gonna need a team of heroes. Need help deciding? I recommend Celeste. She's a great fit for any team. Next, try challenging an opponent to see your capabilities. Claim rewards, and don't forget to level up to prepare for the ultimate battle. But fear not, even the most dangerous bosses can be taken down with the right team. Hero Wars is available on any device, so click on my link in description or scan the QR code to start playing now. You'll get a super chest with top 5 heroes, one of which is secret, as well as 600 emeralds and 30,000 gold. So lads, how many Hero Wars characters did you notice in this ad? Comment down below. Thanks again to Hero Wars for sponsoring this video. Number 1. Right at the beginning of the film, Trinity gets attacked by the police and the machines, but she wins. Now in this entire fight, she suffers no injury. However, right after making this jump through the window and crash landing on a different building, that's when we see some cuts on Trinity's fingers and knuckles. Now by the looks of it, it seems she cut herself while trying to jump through this window. But how exactly did she cut her knuckles there? Well, before I give you the answer, let me explain that the cuts on her fingers are physically there, which were done through makeup. This is not CGI. But this shot over here, where she's in the middle of the jump, is completely CGI. And notice what she does here. The VFX team made sure this CGI model of Trinity closes her fist as soon as she hits the glass of the window, because they had to CGI the jump in a way which would justify the injury on her knuckles. And being able to see a CGI model close its fist for less than a second is incredible attention to detail. Number 2. Morpheus nods at this blind man in the lobby of the Oracle, and this blind man also nods back. And this actually takes Neo by surprise when he realizes that guy is blind. Makes you wonder if he's a lookout for the Oracle. I mean, he can't be taken over by an agent and is a bit of a gatekeeper of sorts. In the animated shorts that they released between the first and the second movies, they explained that the agents can see through other people's eyes via eye implants inside the Matrix. But if a blind dude guards your place who has no eyes, no agent will ever be able to see through him. Therefore, won't know who's entering the Oracle's building. Number 3. Neo's file says he was born on March 11, 1962 in capital city FU, USA, and the file was last updated on July 22, 1998. Now these are the only hard details about the name of the city it takes place in and when. And it looks like he also went to school at Owen Patterson High. Now Owen Patterson is the production designer for the film. Number 4. Notice the same file is written using the font OCRA. Now this is a very special kind of font invented in the year 1968, because at the time there was a need for a font that could be recognized not only by computers but also by humans. Number 5. A few seconds after this shot, we see a photocopy of his passport. There his date of birth is September 13th, 1971. So the file Agent Smith has says Neo was born on March 11th, 1962, but his passport says September 13th, 1971, indicating Neo has probably faked his information in his passport. And notice the passport was issued on 12 September 1991 and is set to expire on September 11th, 2001. Infamously the day of the 9/11 attacks on the World Trade Center. Number 6. Morpheus has a ship in the real world, and the plate reads Mark III number 11. This corresponds with the Bible verse Mark 3:11, which goes, "And when the unclean spirits saw him, they fell down before him and cried out, 'You are the Son of God.'" This adds to the whole Neo is Messiah theme of the movie. Number 7. In the score for this movie, there were 2 songs during the Morpheus-Neo fight, and they're named Bow Whisk Orchestra and Switch or Break Show. Both of these names are anagrams of Wachowski brothers, which is the former name of the directors, since they both came out as trends. Number 8. The final fight of this film and the fight at the beginning both take place in the same location. Now notice in the final fight, the elevator still has the police caution tape from when this was a crime scene after the opening fight of the movie. It's literally the same hallway Trinity was in, and the room with the phone where Smith is already waiting for Neo, aka room number 303, is the same room that Trinity was in at the beginning of the movie. That's why Smith stopped chasing Neo, because he realized where he was and cut him off at the pass. I always love how they put these details in there for people paying attention, but didn't beat you over the head to make it obvious. Number 9. There's something very interesting about the room numbers inside the Matrix. For instance, Neo's apartment number is 101, aka Neo, aka the One. and room 303 is the first time we see Trinity, and Trinity means 3, therefore 303. Number 10. When Morpheus is teaching Neo how to fight and use his combat skills, they both attack each other with the same move. Now notice at this point, their black and white clothes and their heads form the yin-yang symbol. In ancient Chinese philosophy, yin and yang is a concept that describes how opposite forces may actually be complementary, interconnected, and interdependent in the natural world, and how they may give rise to each other as they interrelate to one another. Number 11. The Oracle's outfit and the kitchen design are a reference to Michelangelo's Delphic Sibyl, a painting of a Greek prophet who predicted the coming of the Son of God. And notice when we get introduced to her character for the first time, she is sniffing the steam coming off of the oven.
Smell good, don't they?
This is probably a reference to the fumes the Delphic Oracle inhaled to go into her trance. Number 12. During the interrogation scene, we see Neo on a bunch of monitors awaiting interrogation. Now this is not a security camera display, it's the architect's POV, focusing its entire attention on Neo. The architect makes an appearance in the next film, The Matrix Reloaded. In fact, in a deleted scene, the architect was supposed to reveal himself to Neo at the end of Matrix 1, so this was always written on the script. Number 13. When Morpheus and Neo take the elevator to meet the Oracle, there we see the letters KYM or Kim scratched into the elevator wall. This is a reference to the costume designer of this film, Kim Barrett. Number 14. Morpheus has a simulation of his own designed by this guy, aka Mouse, in order to show Neo what the Matrix really feels like. Now in this simulation, you can see some people are repeated, because this makeshift program can't replicate the processing power of the real Matrix, which can simultaneously handle billions of different individuals. Number 15. Neo's eyes hurting after waking up is a reference to Plato's allegory of the cave. In Plato's allegory of the cave, there's a group of prisoners confined in a cave since birth. They know nothing about life except for shadows, which they think are real. Now Plato says if one of those prisoners is set free, and once he steps outside the cave, his eyes will hurt from the sun's intensity, just like Neo, who had no idea of what reality looks like except for the Matrix. And just like the prisoners, even Neo is having a hard time comprehending the truth. Another small detail is that Plato considers how one might wish to return to the cave, but because their eyes are no longer adjusted to the darkness, they will never be able to return. This happens with Cypher, who wishes to return to the Matrix with no memory of the truth, so he may continue living in ignorance, but knowledge and wisdom are something you can't unlearn. Number 16. Neo's mother's name is Michelle McGahey, the art director of the film. Number 17. The tie that Morpheus is wearing resembles the Matrix code. There's plenty of stuff like this. For example, the rain on the car window when Neo is being taken to Morpheus again falls in a pattern that resembles the Matrix code. And also, at the beginning of the film, when the cleaners were cleaning the window at Neo's office, they did it in a way that follows the Matrix code. Number 18. Smith tells Morpheus that humans are a cancer who move to an area and multiply until all resources are consumed.
Human beings are a disease. A cancer of this planet. You move to an area and you multiply until every natural resource is consumed.
Now, by The Matrix Revolutions, released in 2003, Smith is a virus that consumed every program in The Matrix. Number 19. When Morpheus first appears in the construct, aka the White Void, his sunglasses are opaque black, so that we don't see the camera's reflection moving towards him. But in the very next shot, his traditional mirrored glasses are back once again, indicating this was a simple solution to hide the camera rather than spending money on CGI, which also means Lawrence Fishburne didn't see shit while filming this. Number 20. While waiting to see the Oracle, Neo sees a girl playing with blocks that actually foreshadows the entire movie. For instance, there's the television set Morpheus had in the White Void, the helicopter Neo used to rescue Morpheus, and a movie with white rabbits playing in the background. And if you remember, Neo was first told to follow the white rabbit. This is just brilliant, and I really admire how writers, directors, and the production designers all leave these amazing hints and foreshadow some significant events, and sadly it seems it takes about 20 years to eventually find and decipher them all. Number 21. During the final fight, Neo takes out a guard who drops his rifle. Now notice you can clearly see the barrel of the rifle bending as soon as it hits the ground, which is probably one of the goofs that indicates the rifles are made out of rubber. But movie mistakes like this actually make sense in this film. Because it is happening inside the Matrix, Neo knows none of it is real, and the director can always say it was supposed to be like that, because it's inside the Matrix. Number 22. The book where Neo hides his programs is called Simulacra and Simulation. Symbolism, a book from 1981 that talks about relationships in reality and society. And the chapter he specifically decided to hide it under is on nihilism, which is the rejection of believing in anything, including a meaning to life, which is the whole premise of this film. Number 23. When Agent Smith shoots Neo in the chest for the second time, in this shot from the top, we can momentarily see the blank rounds used in the prop gun. Now a blank round, as opposed to a live round, has no projectile, meaning the tip is mostly crimped, but a live round has pointy tips. Now both the rounds have gunpowder, which creates a sound and smoke. A blank round is used mostly for entertainment purposes, whereas a live round is used for the purposes we're aware of. Number 24. At the beginning of the film, the guy who buys software off of Neo basically gives away the whole plot in his very few lines of dialogue.
No, this never happened. You don't exist.
Right.
Hey, look, it just sounds to me like, you need to unplug, man.
Number 25. The company that Neo works for in the film is called Metacortex. The roots of this word are meta, meaning going beyond or higher, transcending, and cortex, the outer layer of the brain. Therefore, Metacortex is transcending the boundaries of the brain, which is precisely what Neo proceeds to do. And the cerebral cortex of a human is responsible for thinking, perceiving, and understanding the concept of consciousness, which is again the central topic of the film itself. So it's not a random name they came up with. It's deeply connected to the story. Number 26. The Oracle phrases her conversation with Neo in a way that prevents her from telling him the truth, whether or not he's the one. Because she states earlier, no one can tell you, you just know it.
Being the one is just like being in love. No one can tell you you're in love, you just know it.
To me, the best part is the next line where she says, maybe Neo is waiting on a next life.
You got the gift, but it looks like you're waiting for something.
What?
Your next life, maybe.
And indeed, when he dies and comes back, he becomes the one. So the Oracle was right all along. Neo has been waiting on a next life, and as soon as he got it, he became the one. Number 27. Now we have already talked about how Cypher wanted to stay inside the Matrix forever, with no memory of reality, and in order to do that, he made a deal with the machines where he compromised his whole crew. He tossed his phone in a trash can so that the machines could track them. But after a few scenes, when Morpheus asks Cypher to give him his phone, look at how nervous he gets, and he does a half try to get it out of his pocket, and he's like, oh shit, I'm but then gets relieved as soon as Trinity gives hers. This is again a brilliant piece of writing and acting. Number 28. I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube and some posts on Twitter talking about how Morpheus' sunglasses don't reflect the same thing on both sides. For example, in this shot, many claim that on the left glass there's a gun pointing at Neo, but on the right one there's no gun, indicating how one of the glasses reflects reality while the other does not. But that's not true. Let me debunk that once and for all, okay? Because just a few seconds later, we can see the gun reflecting in both of the glasses. It's just the way physics works. If we see it from one specific angle, it would always appear as if one glass isn't reflecting reality. So despite the popular opinion, there is no Easter egg in Morpheus' glasses. And that's it. But before I end this video, let me ask you a question. The thumbnail that I used for this video and my favorite detail both happen to be detail number 21. And my question to you lads, why do you think I placed that detail specifically at number 21? Comment your answers. I just want to see how many of you would actually go out of your way to figure this out. And please give me a thumbs up, grab the subscribe button, and turn notifications on. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter to get updates about my videos. Till then, I'm KSI's Hamster, and I'll see you lads in the next one.